Hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Let's see who's here. Let's see. Was it yesterday or was it the day before yesterday? I got a few messages asking me where I was. You know what? Maybe I thought I put the start time for 6 p.m., but maybe it was 5 p.m. I don't know. Anyway, sorry if I made some of you all nervous or anything like that, but yeah, I may have put the start time and then thought it was something else. I don't know. What could I say? I'm getting older. Hello, Susie Q, Elaine Parker, Felicia. What is that? Hamawu? Okay. And Joan Garcia. Hello to Annie Bennett, Leslie Ann Hector. Let's see. Sonia Johnson, Anita Alpia, Berta Sanchez, Connie Balmer. Uh, what is it? Nalisa M. I'm NMN. Uh, let's see. Ray Raquel, Rosa Roberts. Educate you too. Okay. Lydia Washington. And I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. Taking a sip of some coffee here. Mom, this is good. Wow. Wow, that's on another level. Deirdre Monkey, right church, wrong pew. Annie Bennett, hello. Okay, I won't go too far back with the hellos because I think that tends to eat up a lot of time. All right, so let's get on with it. Hi, Caroline. Sheila Clemens McKay, hello. Rosa Roberts wants to say hi to a few people. Hi, Sherry Ware. Actually, this is Starbucks. It is a caramel. You're at 3753 South Cottage Grove. I didn't ask to hear from you, Siri. Anyway, that is so weird. Why is Siri talking all of a sudden? Boy, that scared me. Okay. Let me make sure Siri won't disturb us again. See if I can turn. Okay. Oh, no, I don't think that helps at all. Anyway, don't talk, Siri. I'm working. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's Starbucks. It's a caramel flavor. And then just to be a little extra greedy, I poured some hot chocolate in there and stirred it up. Tastes just like it comes from the shop. Yeah. If you're trying to save money and you don't want to buy a mocha from a restaurant, just take a pack of hot chocolate and mix it with your favorite coffee, and you will have a mocha, cafe mocha. So, yeah, that is my poor man's way out of it. But if I'm out and there's a Starbucks available, I will go. Okay. So, oh, wow, it's pretty good too. Every sip is like a bite of candy. Let's see. Hey, Rohini. Happy Saturday to my favorite group of humans. Yes, the Sussex squad, of course, right? All right. Oh, you know what? All that talking, I could have got my slide up here. I like those fun days when I have the slides ready already. Ready already. That sounds weird. Okay, let me get my slide. So, you guys, don't forget to vote not only for the Archetypes in the People's Choice Award, but also don't forget to vote for the presidential election. Now, I've already cast my vote. I cast my vote by mail. And in this particular jurisdiction, they actually send out a what did they send out? I believe they send out a notice. They will text or email you a notice saying, "Hey, we received your ballot." Right? So remember that weird guy that Trump put in charge of the post office to slow down the mail for everyone? Remember him? The Joyce or whatever his name was? Whatever happened to him? I think he still has his job. The Postmaster General is one of those few constitutional positions where you can't really do anything to him. It's kind of hard to get rid of him. It'd be like impeaching a president or something. So I don't know if you can get rid of a Postmaster General. All I know is that they took perfectly good equipment and threw it out to slow down the mail as much as possible. God, that seems like a nightmare, but that's exactly what happened. And so, considering that, if you are, and I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm an old time Democrat. If you decide that you want to vote Republican, um, just remember the Orange Menace was a Republican, and that's who he put in charge of the post office and slowed down the postal service for just about every person in the country. I mean, to show you how sinister it was, some people who depended upon the post office to receive their medications did not they just didn't receive their medications because the post office was slowed down so that they could inhibit people from voting. Or even worse, I think the real thing was to try to convince people that the post office is unreliable, and therefore if you vote by mail your votes are unreliable. They did that. So if you guys are considering trying to um, flip both houses of Congress, they said it very simple this weekend. It is democracy that is on the ballot. Democracy is on the ballot. And that's as simple as it gets. Our democracy is on the ballot. What's left of it? So choose your votes wisely. Um, because if it's a theocracy or uh, an authoritarian government that you want, that's how you should vote. Remember, Hitler was voted chancellor before he wreaked havoc with the country. The Italians voted for Mussolini. There's so many people that were actually voted into office before they circumvented all of the constitutions and conventions for those individual countries and wreaked havoc with history. So the Constitution is on the ballot. I'll just say that one last time. The Constitution is on the ballot. So be careful who you vote for. Okay. Let's see. You can get rid of him, but it has to be the council postmaster um, that has to do it. Biden can replace them, but the ones on the board are now in DeJoy's pocket. Biden picked one of two positions open. Yes. I recall that Biden did add a couple of people, or at least one person, to those councils, but it's still a very high bar that you have to reach to get rid of him. Otherwise, he'd have been gone already. So it's not easy to do. It is a position that is enshrined in the Constitution. At the time, one of the things that people valued about the United States was the fact that we had a working postal service. And because of that, it was, it ensured that no matter where you lived, you would be able to receive things by mail, courtesy of the post office. And so, yeah, it is. Is that a cabinet position? I think that is a cabinet position. Although a president can decide who is and is not allowed to be seated at the cabinet. So even the vice president can be excluded from a cabinet meeting if the president chooses. So it's it is a peculiar, as they would say, it is a peculiar position because it comes with a lot of authority for someone who is not even elected. Okay, so let's move on. And there we go. Royal Sussex. So we're going to do some recaps this week, this Saturday. You know, I kind of roll my eyes when I say roundup because, God, I hate that term roundup. But here I am. I'm doing a roundup. I do. That's like I hate roundup. So that's why I just said recap. But okay, full disclosure, it's mostly a roundup. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying that. Hello, Kim Coates. Thank you so much for being here. Well, yeah. Well, let me stay with this one first. As we found out, they wanted us to believe that the Sussexes have no friends, right? And oh boy, I used the wrong photo. There's a photo where I um used a great deal of effort to eliminate that person behind the Fab Four. And when I made this slide by mistake, I accidentally threw her in there. There's another version of this photo where I excluded her, and believe me, it took a lot of cutting and pasting, but I managed to get rid of her. Not that she's not a nice person, but I don't even know who she is, but she just seems to. And also, there's someone behind Nacho's wife. I managed to eliminate him as well. And I just noticed that I went through all that trouble to try to get rid of those folks. And sure enough, when I bring up the photo, there they are in the way. But anyway, as I was saying, they worked very hard to try to make us believe that the Sussexes have no friends and that they are somehow isolated from all of humanity and that nobody wants to be a part of their lives, only for us to find out this week that, and I'm not sure this is proper, but the First Lady of Canada, if that's exactly what they call um, Madame Trudeau, um, the First Lady of Canada actually is still very close to the Sussexes, in particular the Duchess of Sussex, who she met. I believe they agreed it was at least 7 years or more, possibly 8 years or more that they met, and so we were to believe that the Sussexes are these friendless beings out there. And of course, we know that there's a great deal of exaggeration when it comes to the British tabloid media, as evident by everything. But we know that is not true. The Sussexes are, let's see, so far, I think I know of a play date with um, Nacho and his family. Several of them might I add, and also, there was that accidental photo that was leaked by someone, and I believe it was by mistake, but someone accidentally leaked a photo of the Sussexes at a barbecue, a very close friend of the Sussexes, and they deleted that photo not long after that. But that photo was deleted. So there was that occasion that we know of. And of course, and the Sussexes having dinner with friends and such in the area. So, anyway, the long and the short of it is the Sussexes are not these friendless people that nobody wants to deal with or that people begrudgingly talk to if they just don't have anything else to do. Nothing can be further from the truth. So, that is just a ploy. But I guess the thing is, in order to make it okay to attack the Sussexes, it is necessary to dehumanize them as much as possible and make it seem as though they are being punished by people who have strong feelings for the royal family, or had strong feelings, or have strong feelings for the queen, etc. So that is, I believe that is their goal, is to make us believe that they are unworthy of consideration or kindness, and therefore they get whatever they got coming. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth, and I'm pretty sure that, I'm certain, should I say, that everybody knows the tactic that is at play, and most people are not buying into it. And still, anytime there's an American, like for instance, I guess most recently when Harry was, well, when Harry and Meghan went to that concert, and you had the, I forget the lady's name from Hawaii, and the African American guy who I think is somewhat of a folk singer. They were just brimming with excitement about the idea of meeting the Sussexes. It was every bit as much the majesty of meeting any person in the royal family, and I would dare say even more so of a excitement, because it was Harry and Meghan that they were meeting. And so you will not take that away from them. That is a brand, if I don't sound too crass for saying that, but that is a brand that they have built themselves, and you won't take that away from them with a bunch of this rumor mongering and such. You're not going to take that away from them. It's not possible. It won't work. It doesn't fly. So by meeting with Sophie Trudeau, well, not, let me stop saying meeting, by having a visit that went completely unnoticed by the press. And I would imagine that Sophie Trudeau, it has her own security. um, it lets you know that they do still have some very high profile friends that, even though these people don't always run in front of a camera to defend them, they are still, they're ride or dies always. And the reason why we didn't hear about it until they wanted us to is because there are no leaks in Montecito. Plain and simple, there are no leaks, and it just did not get out. Obviously, there was a presence, that is the First Lady of Canada, but nobody was any the wiser, because, as we know, living in LA, there's a lot of high profile people. There's not unusual to see the rich and the famous shopping and such. It's not, as people assume, that every place you turn, there's a pap ready to jump out of the bushes and snap your photo. Yeah, sure, there's plenty of it there, but you got to think about it. It's not as much as I guess people would imagine. And the Sussexes were even able to have a child in a hospital, and we found out about it 4 days after the fact. 4 days after the fact, we're all watching Tina and Michelle, and that is how we found out that baby Lilibet Diana was born, is when they were ready to tell us. So they're not vulnerable and open to attack like they would be if they were, or would have been, if they were in Narnia. And that's just the way it is. So I, for one, am very grateful for that. And it just goes to show that living in the United States, not only financially does it have its advantages, but in terms of security, it still seems to have its advantages, because let's remember, there was someone with a crossbow that managed to jump over the wall and make it onto the grounds of Windsor Castle. Someone walks into the Queen's bedroom, and she tried to order tea for him. And not only did he get into Buckingham Palace once, he got in there twice. Someone slept in the barracks of the armed guard, well, the armed, soldiers near the castle. So there's so many other ways that there have been breaches of security. And of course, let's not forget Princess Anne with that incident she had. That is until she leaned forward and bared her teeth, and suddenly the would-be kidnapper lost his courage. Right on, Annie. But yeah, so that happened. Okay. The royal family has no clue regarding real friendship. All they know is courtiers and ladies in waiting who either manipulate them, run at every beck and call. Diamond Pearl Jim, that is so true. That is so true. Everything is about access when you're dealing with extremely wealthy, powerful, and or influential people. Everything is about access, and the palace intrigue is not limited to royal families. It happens any place where a person of means could change your life by simply making a phone call or whatever. That can happen anywhere. So, under any circumstances where you have people who are vying for um, FaceTime with the principal. Um, okay, you guys. Now, here goes. Remember, take a look at the photo now. Take a look at the photo now. By the way, Diamond Pearl Jim, thank you so much for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Hello, Chef Sandy Love. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm sure you've been watching, but I haven't seen you in the comments for a while. Okay, you ready? So let's right or wrong. Here we go. Ta-da! See? Now you see her. Now you don't. I knew I put the wrong one up. So take a look there. Now you see her. And now you don't. That's the one that I was supposed to use today, not the other one. So there you go, you guys. That looks better. Now the guy behind um Nacho's wife, I'm so sorry I don't remember her name. And of course that one between Harry and Meghan has vanished. Thank goodness. Nice lady, I'm sure, but we don't need them in the photo. Okay. So there you have it. And of course, there are no leaks in Montecito. I think I'm going to change to this photo right here. Now, mind you, I don't know which one of those homes in that photo is the Sussexes, and I don't mean to show it anyway, but somewhere in that tree line is where the Sussexes live. And you could get a rough idea about the size of the community there in Montecito, which, of course, I think Montecito, that means little mountain, right? Montecito? Does that mean little mountain in Spanish? Anyway, they are in the shadow of the mountains there. And so somewhere in that oasis is where the Sussexes live. And they are close to the ocean. And I do believe because of the elevation, in some parts of the garden, you could actually see the ocean. So they're not on the ocean front, but there are some places that the elevation is high enough that you could actually see the ocean. So I'm pretty sure from inside their home, they could probably see the ocean. What a beautiful, idyllic community. And all you guys have to do is win that lottery drawing, and you could be a part of that community. Okay, Prince Harry, Princess Meghan. That's another thing that I have righted or wrong. When they used this slide for CNN, it said Princess Henry of Wales. And I'm like, not even. That is Princess Meghan. She was royal the day she was born. Okay. And of course, we are all awaiting the book, The Spare. So I do have something to say about that. Um, there's two things that is going to greatly affect that family, and that, of course, is the crown, which I hope for all the bluster it lives up to all of the fuss that people are making. There is a possibility that this may be much to do about nothing because last season was so sympathetic. I could have just, what was it, season four was just way too sympathetic and it humanized Charles more than I thought was fair. So I hope, because of the loss of revenue that Netflix has suffered, that they will get the message to Peter what's his face, go in for the kill, right? Tell the truth as we all know it. Don't try to make them look sympathetic. Least of all, that silky chicken of a consort, this one, the one who, along with this one, I hold them equally responsible for their plotting and scheming against the Princess of Wales, the real Princess of Wales, the people's princess. I think they should just retire that title, especially since the people of Wales do not want a prince or a princess of Wales. I think they should just retire it and they should have just left it with Princess Diana, although of course she deserves better than that. But yeah, yeah. Last season was boring, right? Last season was boring. It had no bite. It had absolutely no bite. And Kimco says Rohini and Sean, yes, he's Andrew. You're a sicko man. Disgusting. I love the way disgusting echoed throughout all of Edinburgh. I love the way it echoed throughout the entire community. Disgusting. Oh man, don't get me started with that one. Let's see, Baron, you cannot use age as an excuse, baby, because many of us are people of a certain age. Um, let me tell you something. I predict the weather with my bones. I do. You guys, I'm drinking this coffee right now for a good reason. It is rainy and overcast and miserable, damp, horrible outside right now, and my lights blinked. So if for some reason suddenly I do not have power, then you'll know why. Um, yeah, it will be because of the weather. So it took quite a bit of liquid ambition to get me in this seat today, but here I am. But I noticed that as I get older, when it's rainy and stormy and stuff, I don't even know it's gonna rain, but I wake up in the morning and I just know I'm like, oh, why do I feel like I'm waking up from surgery? And if you've ever had surgery, you know what it's like when you wake up from surgery, you just feel heavy, exhausted, out of it. So that is how I am on a rainy day. And it's all related to my ever growing age. But still, I am glad to be here. But thank you so much for the comment and the vote of confidence, I suppose, Reva Henderson. And thank you for being a member. Ladyfoot has a super chat. Belated happy birthday, Royal Sussex. Sorry, I missed the party. Oh, well, you know what? I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the belated happy birthday. And thank you so much for the super sticker. And of course, for watching Royal Sussex. But, it is never too late to party. So, if you guys would like to celebrate in your own way, I'd appreciate it either way. But thank you so much. And thank you all for the very, very wonderful, kind thoughts that I received. And that was more than I felt like I deserved. And dare I say, maybe even a little embarrassing to me, but I appreciate it. But I'm just like, I'm very humble most days, and I'm kind of like real old school. I don't like a lot of fuss, but you guys really came through and made it like a fantastic birthday, and I do appreciate it. And I'm so glad that with everything else going on, that I did have time to spend part of the day with the squad. That made it special. So let's party in the meantime, just to celebrate all the birthdays and all of the baby boomers and all the youngins, to celebrate the entire squad. That's what I would prefer. And I have to say also that the fact that you guys trust me to do this work means so much to me. It really does, because I know how important the Sussexes are to the people in the squad, and their mission, their goals, and such is something that we all follow and that we pay attention to and everything. So anyway, let us do it. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Nelly's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, I. Right, so there we are. A little celebration for all the birthdays. And that, of course, includes Anne of the Duchess of Success, who celebrated her birthday on the 1st of November. And as I was listening yesterday, I found out she was feeling a little bit under the weather. So looks like she's got a cold, and I hope she feels better soon. So, yes, that is for all the November birthdays, all the Scorpios out there with their shady but very loyal, sinister but somewhat moody, brooding. Yeah, never cross those Scorpios. They are your greatest ally, but they can be the worst of enemies. But yeah, but of course it won't come to that. But yeah, those Scorpios, ooh. I remember I was in a room full of Scorpios and I was like, shouldn't we be trying to kill each other right now? Like out of nowhere, our little stingers just pop through the back of our clothes. Shouldn't we be trying to kill each other? That's what I was thinking. Who's gonna strike first? April Coleman? Did I hear it? The thought of it, I is like, well, people have been saying that for some time, and that's one of those things that is such a sensitive topic that we have to be careful not to, project that onto someone, because you never know if they're suffering from something else. You know what I mean? Even though she makes my behind draw up, and I can't stand her most days. I still give her the same common decency and respect that I would give anybody else, even though she seemed to have been plotting and scheming against our Duchess all this time. And that she seems to be quite the mean girl, but you just never know if something else is going on. Just like I have speculated about her not being around for 30, 60 to 90 days. That's another thing that people have speculated about, is those, disappearing for 30, 60 to 90 days. But I don't know anything for sure. But so I don't I'm very cautious about saying otherwise, but yeah, it's obviously something going on. And then too, she just has a very bizarre build anyway, okay? I can say that very clearly. She doesn't have a typical shape, especially for someone who's given birth not once but three times. She just doesn't, have that silhouette in any kind of way, which is a bit odd. But there's an exception for everything. So yeah, but there's probably something going on about there, and it may be very well be that or something else. And in time we'll find out. We'll find out, and she's probably just very stressed because she's not the most fit person for the position, for the shoes that she has to fill. She's not the right person for that. Her temperament is perfect for someone that you want to control and manipulate and perhaps coerce, meaning, of course, a Stepford wife. But she has trouble projecting and speaking, and she seems to be very shy and doesn't want people in her space and everything. So it must be hell for her to be in the position that she's in, but I can't feel sorry for her because, that was the choice that she made. She had 10 years before the marriage to decide if that was the life for her. And so, as a result of that, even though they try to project that the Sussexes don't have any friends, it seems to be the Cambridges or the Welleses that don't have friends. But what do you expect when you deal with a clown and a mannequin? That is the future of the royal family right there. Um, I've seen the movie. The movie was more entertaining than the real life people. So even the hands on the mannequin are perfect, right? Even the hands are perfect. Look at the hands. See what I mean? They even got the hands right. So um you see how the hands just fit? Isn't that weird? I mean, yeah, that is a superimposed image of her, but it could easily be her with those weird hands. So, I'm just saying. And William, God, he wish he ever had a body like that. Okay, but before I get too far sidetracked, let me continue. Audrey Teschner, thank you so much for the super sticker. Audrey says, blessing to all that had birthdays and for those still having theirs in November. From a sister from another mom, love you guys. Thank you so much, Audrey Teschner, and thank you so much for the super sticker, super chat, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, so I am still here on the spare. Why am I still here? Let me take a look at a couple more comments. Olivia Johnson, thank you so much for the super sticker and watching Royal Sussex. Happy Saturday to you this beautiful Saturday in November, even though outside it is raging and storming in some places, but I still love the fall weather. Hello to VS Speaks Royally. I'm sorry I missed you today. I was struggling with the weather, and I should have because you are always a calming element in my day when, especially when I'm prepping for a show. So, um, too bad for me that I missed it, but I will go back and watch later's for show. All right. Let me see. Gonna scroll. Okay, I think I'm pretty much caught up. Now, this happened. Tiffany Cross, as we mentioned yesterday, MSNBC cuts ties unexpectedly with weekend host Tiffany Cross. Um, Poor Tiffany. Well, I shouldn't say poor Tiffany. She's not a victim, but Tiffany is quite outspoken, and she says what's on her mind, and she said some incredibly thoughtful things about our Duchess in terms of how she was being uh, depicted by the media, and you know what could I say? She has values that aligns with my own, so for that, I think she earned the. Let's see, how many viewers did she have on the weekends? Let's take a look here. She isn't controversial. She is a black woman and willing to stand up for herself when Tucker Carlson attacked her. Well, let me see. Controversial weekend host Tiffany Cross is out at MSNBC. Well, Soledad O'Brien, who I believe is of mixed race, I believe. Soledad, who obviously is a woman of color, and I don't know if she identifies as African American or of mixed race, but she definitely is a great journalist. And she, has been in spaces that usually are not reserved for people that look like Tiffany Cross or Soledad O'Brien. And I love the fact that she has stood up for Tiffany Cross. That was very cool of her. Okay, she identifies as biracial. Thank you for that. Joan Garcia says, Baron, I emailed MSNBC this AM accusing them of behaving like plantation owners, where Tiffany must say nothing yet be trashed by Fox News. Thank you so much, Joan Garcia, for doing that. And I think we all should consider doing the same, because Tiffany Cross actually had the highest rating over the weekends at MSNBC, which doesn't explain why, as she said in the statement herself. It's very curious that they would decide to end their relationship with her, or should I say, not renew her contract 4 days before the midterm elections. That was very strange, but yet that's exactly what happened. Someone who could have been a very who is a very strong voice for the left leaning public, or the Democrats, someone who can definitely inform and call out people, um, has been silenced from her position just days before the election. So that is curious, but they went there. And oh man, how do you rectify that? I'm not sure, but it did happen, and it is unfortunate. And it just goes to show that, as I have often said in my life, there seems to be an unseen hand. And I don't know if that's the right word to use or not, but it's just the way I feel about it. It seems as though there is the unseen hand that is calling the shots, or pulling the punches at the worst possible time, or for their sake, probably the best possible time, to silence people that, um, even in a position that Tiffany Cross has had with MSNBC. I'm sure that she was unable to fully give you her um her opinions about things, because let's face it, she was still on a network television show. And every time something like this happens, I'm thinking, oh, this is someone who needs to have their own podcast. Because when you have your own podcast, or if you have your own platform, if you own that platform, then you have more freedom. But even with that, there's still limitations. I have limitations. Everybody has some form of limitations on us. And let me see. Oh, I love Soledad for that. She isn't controversial. She is black and willing to speak her mind. And let's see, I'm looking at another comment right here. All Tucker Carlson did was play her own words in his show, and that's not an attack. Is dishonest to characterize it as such? Nah, I don't think so. And this comment is coming from, well, I don't want to say that person's name, but he doesn't have a blue check mark. But let's see. It says IT system security and forensic specialist at a Fortune 500 company. This is how he describes his self. Um, mm, Let me see. A few facts about me. My parents are from Haiti. See, Squatty is calling this person out on Twitter, the one that said that. And it from his profile picture, he's supposedly is an African American man, right? My parents are from Haiti and came to the United States illegally. They worked for a wealthy French couple. I am against illegal immigration. Okay. I was an anchor baby. I attended a U.S. military college as an undergraduate student. I have a master's degree. I make six figures. I am a Republican. Now, mind you, this is an African American, according to his profile picture. I own guns. My wife is white, transgender woman from from Canada. We have three children. Two are adopted. My oldest child is from a previous relationship. So this supposedly is the point of view of, and you know what, you guys, I don't care about any of that stuff. This may be a made up profile, but oh my God, this is rich, and I don't want to share it, but that 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 is someone who is defending MSNBC's decision. I think it's rich. I tell you, I hope Twitter is not going to be wrecked to the point um, where where they silence the black Twitter in some kind of way. I hope that doesn't happen because gosh, I tell you, when people do a takedown on Twitter, sometimes it's so epic. Anyway, I'm sorry. See, I should never look at Twitter while I'm on YouTube, and that was my mistake. I do apologize for that. But I should never look at Twitter while I'm on YouTube because stuff like that happens, and I get so distracted. Thank you so much, Joan Garcia, for your comment, and thank you for the super chat and for being a member of Royal Sussex. Thank you, greatly appreciate it. Right. So let me take a scroll here very quickly. I refuse to watch anything on or with MSNBC. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. I'm through with that trash so-called news media agency. Well, let's not forget that Morning Joe um, helped Trump get elected or steal the election. Morning Joe and what's her name? Mika Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski. By them showcasing Donald Trump, they help hand the White House to him, and now they're pretending like, yeah, right. You guys pretty much sealed the deal for him. Rosalind. Oh, okay, that's for someone else. Yes, yes, Mackenzie. Again, thank you, Joan Garcia, for taking the fight to MSNBC. Greatly appreciate it. Ray Raquel says, I pray for Tiffany that God puts Tiffany in a position where there's no limits, place where she can thrive and rise. Amen to that, Ray Raquel. Okay, Baron, Deidre, was it Mikey says, Baron, did you notice Meghan mentioned Stepford wife? Yes, I did. I did notice that. When I heard her mention Stepford wife, I'm like, is Megan a squatty? I think Megan is a squatty. Yes, when she said Stepford wife, I thought I was gonna fall out the chair. I did hear it, and I thought it was absolutely epic when she said Stepford wife. So, okay, all right. Let me see here. Want to make sure I get this right. There we go. All right. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys, I feel really bad about. It's like a punch in the stomach having Tiffany Cross removed from. And I just so you understand, I didn't watch MSNBC a lot, even with Tiffany Cross on it. But the few times I did watch was probably because she was on there. I haven't watched any of the other people on MSNBC for quite some time because I just didn't like the direction it was going. The Young Turks detailed exactly what happened. MSNBC leaked the news to Variety. She was rating. She was ratings goal, and her office didn't protect her from Fox Carlson and what is that? Meghan Kelly rhetoric. Tiff says she never done. Okay, thank you, Cho. Oh man. All right. Okay, Deborah Debbie says, why is it that people who try to speak their minds on Meghan and Harry, they do something terrible to them? Everyone will be judged according to their deeds. That's true. I mean, as we have seen, where someone has taken a tumble down the steps and then got shingles, um, and then someone else that I mentioned some time ago who is not so famous seemed to have some severe health problems, and then a year later their dog died and all that stuff. And that person had wrote a very nasty article about the Sussexes, in particular the Duchess, and all kind of bad stuff happened. So I don't like to be the one to say it, but um, as Tabitha Brown said to Wendy Williams, "What is it about my happiness that triggered you?" And ever since she said that, Wendy Williams ain't had a day's peace. I'm just saying, it just so happens to be the case that ever since that happened, Wendy Williams has not had a day's peace. So be careful how you treat people. It matters. Deborah Robinson says, unfortunately, Baron, Twitter is about to become something we don't recognize or like. So I completely deactivated my account and have no problem with my decision whatsoever. Well, good on you, Deborah Robinson. Your mental health comes first, and also your well being comes first. And if there is something about Twitter that you're opposed to, you did the right thing, because Twitter is a very powerful forum where anybody and everybody on the planet has access to a larger audience. And, you know, anything that we say or do on Twitter can become a viral occasion in an instant, or it's just more stuff that people have put up there and nobody paid attention to it. But the fact that you can literally talk to celebrities, you can talk to politicians, and you can criticize them, or you can love what they're doing and approve of them. And there's a good chance that, depending on the timing, you may get a response from the people that you are talking to or talking about. That is what makes Twitter so valuable. And it's a shame. It is a shame that someone has gone through so much trouble to try to destroy it, claiming that Twitter is like a big, uh, what is it they say, woke echo chamber or something like that. It certainly is not. There's enough of the worst kind of messages on there. In spite of everything, there's still elements of racism and misogyny and such that exist on Twitter without Elon Musk purchasing the platform. But now that he has, is just like with Brexit. You take something that isn't broke and you break it. And so Brexit was working for Britain, and people came up with some cock and bull story about how bad it is for Britain and we don't have a say. And now look at what Britain is going through. Britain, unfortunately, is put in a position where they have to compete against the European Union. And the European Union, some 500 million people strong, and however many countries, they're going to take care of themselves first. They're not going to say, "Oh, we've always been, allies with Britain, or we've always been allies with Australia, and so on and so forth." they are going to put their interests first and nobody else's, because that's, the European Union. And so by Britain stepping away from that, they put themselves like a David and Goliath when it comes to trade and treaties and such. That was a huge mistake. And it's the same with Twitter. It wasn't broke, but now someone intends to break it. The post office wasn't broke, but somebody intends to break it. There's so many things that the Orange Menace, Donald Trump, systematically um, decapitated, if you will, just for the sake of doing it. Things that Obama put in place that helped people, he just got rid of it just for the sake of it. So, yeah, anyway, thank you so much for your comment, Deborah. And that is definitely something that we have to watch out for. And may I applaud you on making a firm decision in your life to rid yourself of Twitter. For some people, Twitter is just that. And then other people, it may be very important. But whatever it was to you, you decided to walk away from it. And I applaud you. Okay. Miss P Talk says, I thought that MSNBC was one of the better stations, but I live in the UK. What do I know about all these media stations? Seems to be going weird about people of color. That's because um, the right wing, more people are using the Rupert Murdoch model of buy a familiar name, buy a familiar institution, and then fill the offices with like-minded, right wing, alt right, conspiracy theorists. Fill the rooms with those people, and then you can control the narrative. And by doing that, you can control who's in government. That's what they're doing. Um, WGN, the superstation on cable TV, was purchased by Sinclair Broadcasting. Sinclair Broadcasting, or Sinclair Media Group, Sinclair owns billboards across the United States. Sinclair owns radio and television stations across the United States. And even though television is dying, even though radio is dying, it still has a very large audience. It still has a very old audience, people who are more, and let's face it, older people are more likely to vote. And so by taking over those interests, even though these media's platforms are fading, they're not altogether gone. And so, if you guys notice what has happened with your local news as well as the national news services, the legacy media, they all show these little short videos on YouTube. It is a source of revenue for YouTube, Facebook, and any other platform that has commercials, that you can't really watch a full news hour or half hour anymore, like in the early days, because they want you to watch all these individual clips so that they can get the clicks and make the money from it. So this is why they don't upload a whole episode of The View. You got to watch bits and pieces of it, because that is a source of revenue. And so if they can't get you to watch the television, then they will get you to watch on social media, and still they can make revenue from all the clicks that they receive from the various portions of a video or show or whatever. So um, I noticed and of course Robin says, if you want to see more of this content, go ahead, click on that button over there. They want you to subscribe to Good Morning America on YouTube or wherever. So it's very clever. I mean, they're trying to become to mix into social media as opposed to ignoring it. And, it's just another way for them to make money. But that's something that I noticed in the last few years is that the television stations and networks and such, now they are all over social media. Yeah, they have found their voice on social media. So anyway, thank you, Miss P. Okay. I am so far behind. I'm going to have to do a big, deep scroll here. I'm sorry if I'm missing so many of your comments. Audrey Teschner says, Baron, where is Church Nelly, please? I don't know what Church Nelly is. Let me see. It was Friday. So usually on Fridays, Church Nelly, maybe she went to the juke joint last night. I don't know. But yeah, I hope she's okay. Oh, have they? Oh my God. Did they? They've gone all the way MAGA. Oh, I didn't know that. I heard that they were like getting rid of people, but again, I didn't watch them anymore either. Although I loved CNN at one time, but people thought CNN was like the BBC. They thought it was government owned and or government funded or whatever. Because CNN had so many bureaus and so many correspondents all over the world, but CNN has actually started losing money. So I guess they figure if we're losing money, the best thing to do is to become a hate channel like Fox News. So it's unfortunate. But yeah, so many things are changing so fast. But one thing you can control is go and vote. Anyway, thank you so much, Audrey Teschner, for the super sticker and for watching Royal Sussex. Yes, go vote, people. Vote, vote, vote. Did I see something about sound? Okay. Okay. I guess not. All right, you guys. Let me see. Hi, Church Nelly. Someone just asked about you. And then somebody else said you were at a juke joint last night. I don't know. But anyway. I'm so sorry. I've been like talking and talking. I see how far behind I am. Ooh, this looks juicy. Listen, people, neighbors had a fight of a lifetime last night. Woman threw a lot of her boyfriend's stuff all over the front lawn. I've been sifting through it throughout it. And yes, watch the. Well, let me see. Yes, watch and new TV 6. Wow, really? Okay. Oh man. Okay, Church Nelly. Thank you for sharing that. Uh all right, let's move on then. The Crown first reviews Elizabeth Debicki burns up every scene. Muhammad Al Fayed is a cuddly hero who the royals are just, what is that, rotters and snobs with. The Crown has determined as ever to depict Windsors as the most appalling family in history, says Jan Moore. Well, right. Anyway, Jan Moore. Right. Anyway, Netflix, The Crown, is branded utter rubbish by two prime ministers over depiction of kings lobbying them to overthrow the queen. Well, as you can see, they're not through trying to discourage people from watching The Crown, but I don't know if secretly they are encouraging people if they're using the old bait and switch or what is that, the little psychological game. What do you call it? But anyway, it's almost as though they're encouraging people to watch, the Crown. Either way, I'm in there because I'm hoping and I'm praying that the Crown will deliver. Last time they did not. Last time I was just like, oh, this is a big fat nothing burger. But this time I am praying that they deliver. And I mean, I want to see the big takedown. Oh, by the way, there is a contribution on my PayPal. Thank you so much, DR. Thank you so much for the contribution to Royal Sussex. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex and being a very supportive um, viewer. Yeah, viewer, Squatty, to this Sussex friendly platform. So thank you very much. But yeah, I just saw that on my phone. So thank you and thank you and thank you. All right. So, yeah, to me, it just seems like they want us to watch. Now, do remember, you guys, this is coming up. I almost forgot about it. I know it's on the 29th. The Women's Fund of Central Indiana will host an event with Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, on November 29th at the Indianapolis Marriott downtown. Um, that is still happening. So, I believe the people of Indianapolis are pretty excited about this event. The local news media there, as I've demonstrated last time, they seem to have a very fair and unbiased way of reporting the event instead of, like some other media outlets where tend to, you know what I mean, okay, I'll just say it, like maybe some of the Australian news services or or some of the British television stations where they'll say something about privacy and all that kind of stuff. There's none of that here. It is just excitement about the up and coming event. So I am looking forward to that. And again, bravo for just welcoming our Duchess and being excited about it as I am myself. So, wish the Crown was on HBO. Well, if that would make it have more teeth, if that would means more teeth, then I'm for it too. Whatever. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if the what do you call those people? If Netflix ever decides that they don't want to continue with The Crown, maybe if HBO picked it up, it would have more teeth. And there's no reason, even though they're doing these things, I guess for a particular era, like the last 30 years or whatever. There's no reason to see why they couldn't go back and tell another story about that family and use different actors. I mean, that could happen. There's no reason why it shouldn't. So if they feel like they want to revisit a storyline in a different way, they certainly could. But all I'm saying is just please have more teeth this time. Don't disappoint us by humanizing two of the most disgusting people in the world. And that, of course, is Charles and Camilla. I mean, those are two awful, awful people. And as Harry said, generational pain. Uh, does it make sense that Prince Charles, have suffered and you have written about how you suffered? You have been interviewed and you talked about your life. Why would you pass that on to your child? Well, that's exactly what's happened. Make it make sense, as they say. Okay. All right. Oh, did you guys see where Oprah has, after leaving the royal life behind, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are paving a new path for themselves across the pond. Learn more about the couple's life in California, from their Montecito mansion to their star-studded inner circle. So Oprah had like something dedicated to Harry and Meghan. I think I'll let you hear it. Oh wait, there's no it's just that darn guitar music. But let me see. Harry and Meghan traded um, Palace Life for the Pacific Coast. Here's what they've been up to since leaving their royal duties. But yeah, it's like a little 2-minute video. And I don't know if there's a longer video that you can see, but it must be an article. Let me see if it's in the Oprah Daily. Yeah, I think Oprah has like an online magazine, Oprah Daily. But anyway, for whatever reason, she was talking about Meghan and Harry. Seems like she's been shying away from the Sussexes since the palace has put pressure on her. I don't want to believe that's true, but it just seems that way. Okay. Oh, this is really cool. Let me save this for later. Okay. There I go looking at Twitter again. Marine, Baron and Squatties, the more hypocrite Charles III continues with his shenanigans toward Harry and Meghan. I mean, Harry and his family. The more I agree that he's been running the show the last few years of QE2's life. That's what I've been thinking, is that Charles has been in charge. And people say, no, no, the Queen, the Queen, the Queen. But that's my assertion, is that Charles has been calling the shots. Somehow he's managed to get the Queen to um, do that thing about the consort or the cohort or whatever. So, but not that I'm looking for a amen section, but Marine, that is just what I believe myself, is that the Queen wasn't making a lot of decisions. I think the courtiers, the men in gray suits, and Charles and his people were the ones calling the shots, and that the Queen, facing the inevitable passing, just kind of deferred to him. Even when it came to Harry and Meghan, it just seems like at a certain point she wasn't available for things anymore. But I don't know to what degree. I guess that's something that we'll never know for sure. But that's what I was thinking, is that something that the Queen wasn't calling the shots anymore, and people who are suffering a decline, a mentally cognitive decline, it's not always so obvious, especially people that read speeches and teleprompters and stuff like that. It's not always so obvious. It can be very gradual. I mean, Ronald Reagan was at a point where he was declining and nobody was any wiser about it. I mean, people speculated, and of course, when he left office, what was it? A year later, they said, "Oh, guess what? We meant to tell y'all that Ronald Reagan has Alzheimer's." Well, it didn't just start when he left office. It didn't just start when he left office. He had been declining for quite some time, and they just didn't say anything about it. But everybody around him, and of course, even the media at the time, there was some speculation that Nancy was in control. Nancy was his care person. That was very evident. I was young, but I remember those times, and I remember the speculation at the time. So even though the Queen was able to carry out her duties and seemed to be in full control of things, it doesn't mean that she had complete agency over her life. So anyway, thank you so much for your comment. Right here it says all of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's projects since leaving the royal family. Note that is 10/13/21. And this is what they had achieved up until October of 2021. The Impact Officer of Ethic, Netflix series Pearl, Spotify, The Bench, Clever Blends, Global Citizens, 40 by 40, uh, Archwell, and of course, Harry Walker Agency. As for Harry, Impact Officer at Ethic, Netflix Project Heart of Invictus, Archwell Audio, Spotify Podcasts. Well, that's both of them, I think. Chief Impact Officer at Better Up, Memoir with Penguin Random House, Global Citizens, Archwell, Harry Walker Agency. Now, Harry Walker Agency, that is the agency that the Clintons, the Obamas, and so many other people use to help them secure public speaking uh, gigs and such. So, Harry Walker Agency is a way that um, high profile people that will work the lecture circuit can make a lot of money. And you guys, let me tell you something. The Sussexes, if the Sussexes were really in dire straits for money, like the tabloids want us to believe, they could easily make 5K, I'm sorry, 500K to $1 million for giving a speech. The two of them together, they could earn a lot of money hosting events and giving speeches and such. There is quite lucrative uh, contracts that you can get for someone of their status. And Harry and Meghan, I believe, this is another thing I believe that Harry and Meghan, as the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, made certain promises to the Queen as they left that they would not use their titles for the purposes of commerce or trade, and that they would uphold the dignity of the royal family. And so far, that's exactly what they've done. They have not put a foot wrong. They have not disrespected the royal family. They've only told their truth. They have not acted in any way that other members of the family, including Prince Charles, now King Charles III, including the Duchess of Pork, now the Duchess of York, uh, and several other people in that family who told their story. Even the Duke of Gloucester, otherwise known as the Duke of, wait, I'm sorry, the Duke of Kent, even the Duke of Kent um, has written a book that nobody's read telling his life story, which I don't know why he even bothered, but even he wrote a book or, had a ghostwriter, but even he has a book. It's hard to believe he has a book, but even he has a book. Nobody's read it, nobody cares. It quickly went to the pound store, but even he has a book. Church Nelly, what is you doing? Let me see what. No, you know what? I better not look. Church Nelly, I'm not even going to look. I need plausible deniability where you're concerned, and so in order to stay out of jail and to keep my channel, I'm not even going to look. But I see that you are doing something, and I am just going to move on. How about that? But you up to something, and everybody is responding, and that's cool. I promise I won't even look. Okay. I don't want to get in trouble. That's what it is. I don't want to get in trouble. So here's a more accurate thing here. We got Los Pedros or Los Pedros. La Pedros. That is Harry's polo, Invictus, Well Child, The Me You Can't See, Halo Trust, African Park, Cinta Ballet, Better Up, Lesotho, something there, and Penguin Random House, NAACP, Presidential Award, Paid Leave for All, Time Magazine, Smart Works, The Bench, 40 by 40, Ethic, Aspen Institute, URL, Center for Humane Technology, National Women's Law Center, World Central Kitchen, Global Citizen, Loveland. I think isn't that a shelter? I think right. Something Mind, Harvest Home, Spotify, Netflix, Girls Inc., Genesis. What is that? Something up there at the top. Lead with Love, Archwell, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they have been busy. They have been so busy, and they have worked so hard. And I have to say, light skinned Harry, who everybody in that institution was just counting the moments until he fell on his face, until he just withered into non-existence, all of that stuff that they had planned for him to fail. And Harry has been thriving and thriving and thriving since he left that country. He was already hard working within the institution. And from working outside of the institution, this man, I was so afraid he was going to burn out. I was so afraid. Thank you for that, Leslie Ann Hector. I was so afraid that he was going to burn out, just like I'm afraid to look at whatever it is Church Nelly is talking about. And so I'm just scrolling past because I don't want no part of it because, I may or may not be on parole right now. So I may or may not be allowed to know that something that Church Nelly is doing is going on. So I may or may not look, but I'm probably not going to look. Uh, okay, so oh, I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm using great discipline right now, so I'm just going to go on. Now, right here it says the Crown. Why all the fuss when the facts of what happened still shock as much as fiction? Now, this article is from Rihanna Mills, and Rihanna Mills just simply points out that we all know what has happened with that family. We know what Camilla and Charles have been up to. We know all this stuff. We know that 1992 1992 is a year that I should look back with undiluted pleasure. It was an angry anus. Or wait a minute. It was a horrible anus horribus. Horribus. I can't say that. An anus horribus. Hibiscus. That's it. It was a anus hibiscus. 1992 is a year that I shan't look back at with undiluted pleasure. It was an angry anus, an anus herbivore. It was an anus herbivore. That's what it was. It was a anal herbivore, omnivore. That's what 1992 was. And we shan't look back at it with undiluted pleasure. I saw what's her name, Candy Staten or whatever. I saw her talking about doing that speech on the Crown, or they played the voice of her doing that speech about 1992. But whatever happened in 1992, it was a year that the Queen shan't look back at with undiluted pleasure. Um, I would say that is a monumental understatement, but whatever, it happened. We all know what happened. All this stuff, we know what happened. So, um, I don't know that I will ever agree with Rihanna Mills on much in this life, but she's right. Why make a big fuss about all this stuff? The collapse of Prince Charles and Diana's marriage playing out publicly in such a what is that, grotty way through tell all books and interviews, details of those tapes where Charles said he wanted to be Camilla's tampon, three of the Queen's children getting divorced, and discussion of those pictures of the Duchess of York sucking the toe of her lover. Pictures of the Duchess of York sucking the toe of her lover. I thought she had her foot in his mouth. Didn't she? Didn't she put her foot in his mouth? And you guys, the thing with the Duchess of York that you should know is that I showed you all a cropped photo of the Duchess of York by the swimming pool with that guy sucking on her toe. But in the actual photo, if this doesn't make you sick on the stomach, um, Beatrice and Eugenie were running around, little girls running around while their mama got her foot in some man's mouth. Okay? While she got that little gnarly, uh, wrinkled foot in somebody's mouth, the little girls were running around the swimming pool bearing witness to their mother's, how do I put this, disgrace. The kids were right there. The kids were right there, running around the pool and laughing and grinning and smiling while their mama had her foot firmly planted in some wealthy banker's mouth. That's what made that so disgusting. It wasn't just the fact that she was photographed, but the children were there. So let that sink in. Think about that for a second. It was absolutely disgusting, unbecoming of a duchess, but yet she's still a duchess, and you don't hear anybody talking about taking her titles away. She still freely uses the term Duchess of York. Duchess of York, writing books, baking cookies, eating Weight Watchers, although I can't tell that it's helping, but eating Weight Watchers, all that stuff, and sticking her foot in some man's mouth, and she still gets to keep the title, the Duchess of York. But they so worried about what Meghan's doing, who hasn't brought any shame or disgrace upon that family. Harry was the one who wanted to tell everything to Oprah. Meghan was trying to hold him back. She's like, "Well, we don't." And Harry's like, "Well, Meghan was the one trying to pull back, but no, Harry was like, "No, we come to tell it. We're telling it." And one thing that we have learned when we see the Sussexes together, Harry has complete control over his own life. He's not some passive person that just sits back and he's dictated to whatever they say. That is just not the case. Okay, let me see. Baron, what you said about Fergie is exactly what I wrote on another site. Just shows. I'll see. Celia Nelson, thank you so much for that comment. Let me see. How much was she paid for that? Because with Fergie, everything has a price. Ooh, Terry H, do tell. But that is true. Fergie is a master fundraiser. They need to put her on some of those charities. What they should do is to make her a patron of, let's say, the foot pain management charity, and let her kick that shoe off and stick her foot in somebody's mouth and and take some donations for it. I'm sure she'd do well. Oh man. Let me see here. Kathy Gabby says, Baron, timing is everything for Charles. Just when you thought he and Camilla had gotten away with it all, here comes again Diana's People's Princess, Queen courtesy Netflix. Yes, absolutely. They thought that they had seen the worst of it, and Charles was riding this crest of popularity from the Queen's passing, and now it is all going to be undermined by the Crown and possibly by a book. Because you know what? Whatever Harry writes in that book, even if the book never mentions Charles, which of course it probably will, they're going to find some kind of way to spin it that Harry is attacking his father. You already know that's going to happen. Yes, there is more footage of the Oprah Winfrey interview that we have not seen. So yeah, there maybe Oprah is trying to raise some coins, and maybe she'll show the rest of it. Maybe she's just putting some um, data out there to see what people are going to do and say about stuff to see if it makes sense to do that. Okay, so take a look there. You can see that Charles and Diana, they are not looking at one another with undiluted pleasure the way that the Sussexes gaze at one another. As a matter of fact, far from it. It shows that the William and Kate, their relationship seems to be more closely tied to that of Charles and Diana's relationship. And then on the right side, you can see Charles and Diana making their way through the St. Paul's Cathedral, and that big blob of hair on the right side, the one that has that very ratty looking Farrah Fawcett hairdo, that is Camilla wearing white to Diana's wedding. That is Camilla wearing white, wearing white to the wedding, just like Duchess Doolittle. But anyway, they got some black people there. I noticed they got some black people there. I wonder if that's family. I wonder which side of the family the black people are on. I'm just asking for a friend. I don't want to know, Church Nelly. I will try to look at it later though and get caught up. I see something about my neighbor should have taken a picture of her ex-boyfriend's fiance. Oh man, it must be really good because I'm just like, what? All right. So here you have the people who just couldn't resist getting up close and personal with the royals after well-wishing wishers, that is, flung open arms around the Princess of Wales, and even celebs are guilty of breaking unwritten protocol. So this article, let me tell you about this article. I'm not sharing any of the photos in the article. This photo on the right has nothing to do with that article. The reason why I'm sharing it with you is to point out something. This article speaks of people embracing the royal family and the royal family embracing people. But you know who has been omitted from this story? I'm going to tell you who's been omitted from this story: the Duchess of Sussex, the Duke of Sussex, and yes, the People's Princess, the ones who tried to teach the royal family how to love. Princess Diana, Prince Harry, and Princess Meghan are omitted from this story. They are not included in this story about embracing people, about openly showing affection with the public. They even got the Queen being hugged by Michelle Obama. They even got the Queen being hugged by that uh when I think when the Queen went on tour back in 1992, there was a African American woman who threw her arms around the Queen, breaching the protocol. And anyway, uh, they even included that situation, but there was no mention of Harry, Meghan, or Diana. Interesting, isn't it? They are trying to show how down to earth and how loving and how surprisingly normal the royal family can be. But yet, the people who taught, or should I say, the person who first taught that family how to show affection for the masses, Princess Diana, is not even included in the story. They got everybody else but Diana. And of course, they left Harry out and left Meghan out of the story. What do you think of that? Again, like mother, like son, they decided not to include Prince Harry and they decided not to include Princess Diana. They even got Charles embracing someone. They even got Duchess of Doolittle embracing someone, but they have completely ignored the Sussexes and Princess Diana. Um, if you notice, I wasn't going to share this, but I decided to do it. And you know why I decided to do it? Is because of that face. When I saw that face, I said, "Oh yeah, I got to share this." There you can see. Um, oh, I didn't want to say her name, but there you can see Duchess of Doolittle greeting the crowd, trying to be relatable. And what better way to be relatable than to go dressed up as your sister-in-law? What better way to relate to people than dressing up as your sister-in-law? If you want people to notice you, go out cosplaying your sister in law. That's exactly what she did. I mean, from head to toe, she has decided to try to be the Duchess of Sussex. Again, I was hesitant to share this, but I decided to do it anyway. Look at that. And look at that face. Could you imagine being a child and having that face coming at you, reaching, extending that little bony Hansel and Gretel hand at you and greeting you and cheesing and got that one eye up and one eye down? Could you imagine that person? Um, I mean, you're a little child now, very impressionable. Everything makes you nervous and scared, and then here she comes, gritting her teeth and leaning in with that face, and she's sticking that little bony Hansel and Gretel hand out at you. What is that like? What must that be like for a child? Who does that to children? Pomerose71 says Harry and Meghan are showing what true working royals look like. They're so far ahead, the others can't keep up, even if they tried. That's why they're big mad. How dare they succeed without the firm? And Pomerose, you said it. Succeed they are, and succeed they will. The Sussexes are thriving away from the constraints of the British royal family. And that bothers them because they have created a template by which future royals will find out that you can have a life without that kind of service and duty. Because what is service? Service is absolutely universal. Service is universal. As a matter of fact, that is our service is universal. Service is universal. Sorry if that scared you guys, but service is universal. And you don't have to be in that family to do service. Thank you so much, Pomeros, for the super chat. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. So, again, oh, sorry about that. Again, you have that bony little hand like Hansel and Gretel extending out like the tentacles of some very large insect. And then you got that incredibly weird face leaning into yours. Who does that to their children? But yet people brought their children to this occasion only to be set upon by her. uh, Scarring people with crazy eyes and copycat ways. Exactly. Now those kids are going to need therapy, having come face to face with Kate. Yes. I mean, it's just and to lean in. I mean, what does one make of all that? I mean, she goes dressed up like she's the Duchess of Sussex, trying to be human and relatable, but still coming across like some type of predator. Kate Middleton is reportedly having a very difficult time with stress and anxiety. Now, royal expert says, let's see, oh, that's from today. Kate Middleton is stressed and having a difficult time. I wonder what's going on with her that she's suffering from stress and difficulty. Could it have been all of that conspiring against her sister in law? Could it have been, I don't know, going through all that trouble of trying to dress like someone that you're not? I mean, you have to go shopping and you got to make sure you got the right coat, the right bag, the right hat. Everything's got to be right. You even got to wear your hair over your ear and everything. All of that just so that you can cosplay your sister in law. Yes, I can imagine that is very stressful. Poor Kate. Poor Kate. Oh, well, good thing she's rich and has never worked a day in her life. Otherwise, I'd be very worried about her right now. But since she is very rich and has never really worked a day in her life, I somehow will manage to assume that she's doing okay. But yeah, those poor kids. Ugh. Oh man. I don't want you guys to think I'm just sharing these photos because they're unflattering. These are just the first photos I grabbed and I thought I would share them with you. It's not because I believe them to be unflattering. No, no. It's just the first photos that I saw and I just randomly picked a couple of photos to show you the real Kate. And I wanted to show you the real Kate real close. The real Kate, real close. Just grinning, Kate, real close. That's it. I wasn't trying to be shady. It's hard to know which eye to look at, ain't it? You don't know which one to look at. You're not sure which one is looking. You don't really know which eye to look at because you don't know which eye is looking at you. So, yeah, I don't know which one to look at. I tell you what, maybe I'll not do what she didn't do. And that way, if I don't do to myself what she didn't do to her face, then maybe if I don't do that to myself, then if I'm standing close to her having a conversation, that our eyes will somehow meet up. You get what I'm saying? So if I don't do to my face what she surely didn't do to hers, then maybe it'll look normal. Maybe. Oh my God. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. I gotta stop. Let me move on. Let me move on. It's kind of like when you have a picture on the wall and maybe sometimes you keep going up to the photo, I mean to the painting, and you tilt it a little bit just because you feel like it's not, you know what I mean? That's what I'm getting right now. I feel like I need to go over to that painting and just tilt it a little bit so that, it's right. Right? Right. Okay, I'm done. I'm done before I go any further. What's that? Anxiety due to laziness? Well, that can cause one to feel inadequate and out of place. Definitely. Definitely. That it is capable of that. Yes. And of course, my other favorite from this week is Suella Braverman. When I first saw this photo, I said, now if I just crop it, people would think that somehow that I have manipulated this photo, but I promise you, I haven't done anything to it. I haven't done anything to it. I don't know why I keep expecting to see I don't know why I keep expecting to see Sigourney Weaver. You? Do y'all expect to see Sigourney Weaver? Every time I look at this photo, I keep expecting to see Sigourney Weaver. But I guess she's not in this movie. But I think that instead of the people crossing the channel, the migrants, if they want someone to help them fight for their cause, they need to hire Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver is the only person who can save them, not um, Jeremy Corbyn, not James O'Brien. No, only Sigourney Weaver can save them. Thank you, Sean. I'm not sure I want. Well, okay, yeah, I guess I can highlight that. I mean, I didn't say it; you did. But oh man, okay. I've already slowed the chat. The chat is on like 60 seconds. But yeah, you know what? It is weird. The chat seems to be moving faster, but I know I set it for 60 seconds. But let me go back in and try it again. Because it does seem to be moving kind of fast. I think that is the Church Nelly effect. That's why the chat is moving fast. But okay, I'm gonna do it again, and okay, let's make it that. Okay. All right. I hope that helps. Yeah, I just kind of reset it. I added 5 seconds to it because I think a minute is too long. So it's usually 60 seconds, but I just added 5 seconds just to kind of reboot it, I think, because, yeah, it was going fast now that you mention it. I didn't even notice it at first. Thank you for the suggestion. So, anyway, can somebody get Sigourney Weaver on the line? Um, oh man. And you know what, Church Nelly, I don't really have it against. I don't hate anybody, but I think when you have a dream of putting migrants who have a right to ask for asylum that is based on international law, that people who come from war torn areas do have a right to appeal for asylum. I think that's like a UN charter or something like that. People do have a right to ask for asylum, And this person actually said, "Oh, I have a dream about putting people on planes and sending them to Rwanda." No other country does that. No other country in the Western industrialized world does that. But yet, you have a brown person who seems to have it in for other brown people. And so for that, I I'm not very sorry about having fun with her because I think she's a very cruel individual. And who was that before her? Equally cruel. But yeah, people who have like sacrificed everything for their legal right to appeal for asylum should not have to face something like that on the other end of their journey. I mean, the only person who should face something like that is Sigourney Weaver because she knows how to win. Okay, I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. Oh man. Okay, you guys. Enough is enough. I'm done with that. As a matter of fact, I think I'm done. I am done. I am done. So let me take a quick look at this past week. How about yesterday? Let's go through yesterday really fast, shall we? Shan't we? Shall we? There we go. That's Royal Sussex yesterday. Get ready for the crown. There's only what 4 days left? 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 4 days left until the crown. So get your popcorn, your inhaler, and get your drinks and sit on that Twitter and have at it because the crown is a coming. Yes, the crown, a house divided. And we talked about Tiffany Cross. And of course, this article from Omid Scobie about despair. So far, the only the smallest official detail about the book, 416 pages, has been released by the publisher. They describe Spare as a title with raw, unflinching honestly. It should be honesty. I think that is a typo, right? Honesty, a book that is filled with insight, revelations, and self explanations and hard won wisdom. I'd expect nothing less from prolific ghostwriter J.R. Moringer, who is famous for encouraging his subjects to switch on the light in the darkest parts of their story. I like that. Switch on the lights in the darkest part of their stories. I think that Omen Scobie is a very prolific writer as well. If you've ever read any of Omen Scobie's articles, I think he's brilliant. Super chat from Pomerose says, "Look, y'all, Kate wanted Harry. Her smile was always wider around him. She's got the spot, but also buyer's remorse and knows it. She wants Meghan's spot. Yes, yes. Let me go back to that for a second. Where are we here? This is obviously a troubled soul. That is a very troubled soul. As Hillary, what's her name? The writer said that they have removed all personality from her, and now she has just become like this very robotic being. And even though I'm having fun, God only knows what she's put herself through. I'm not going to say what people have put her through, but what she has put herself through. I mean, there are some photos where she actually looks older than her mother. I'm going to show you. Do I still have that picture of her mother? Yeah. This is her mother. This is her mother up close. You can see details, and this is Kate. Something's going on there. Something is going terribly wrong for her. And All I can say is that it's probably a situation, a problem of her own making, and whether or not she's had any enhancements done or whatever, is something going on there. Maybe it's those 30, 60 to 90 days away from public view. I don't know, but something is going on. These photos were taken, I think, at a tennis match. And then the next day, they tried to insert the airbrush photo in place of the other one, which I had already saved. And I'm just like, wait a minute, that photo has been airbrushed. And I can prove it. I still got the other one. Wow. That's all I can say is wow. Whatever's going on, Pomerose, with her, I hope it's worth it to her. I really do hope it's worth it because that family has put our Duchess and, of course, Prince Harry through the worst. And they come out looking more beautiful every day. And their lives are bigger and bigger, and their future is bright, which is more than you can say for them. So, thank you again, Pomerose, for a very thought provoking comment. And thank you so much for the super sticker and watching Royal Sussex. Okay, you guys, I am going to go here, here. Okay, all right. That we discussed yesterday. What was this one again? Oh, yeah, Karl Stavanovich, him being accused of, well, Harry living his best life. Charles reportedly won't travel without a teddy bear and a custom toilet seat, as evident by the photo on the left side, his custom toilet seat. His wacky friendships. And of course, I think I mentioned that there seems to be a parallel between the heir and the spare, no, the heir and the king, and their trusted aides who seem to have, kind of shady auras about themselves. Oh, and I was supposed to put this on the community tab. I didn't forget, I just didn't do it yet. But yes, Neiman Marcus, not my king. Invisible Contract, and of course, who flies without a copy of the Daily Fail in the pocket of their private helicopter? Yes, and Stacey Solomon. I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. I love her. I just don't get it. I don't get any of it. And the Willy fish. Don't forget the Willy fish. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry Ware. I will take a look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. This thing here. Okay, let me grab my donation list. Thank you, Sherry Ware. And thank you, unnamed person on the PayPal, for your generous contribution, as well as the actual list. Let me grab that list. Okay. So thank you so much, Diamond Pearl Jim, for the super sticker. Ladyfoot, Audrey Teschner, thank you both for the super stickers. Olivia Johnson, Joan Garcia, Mama Bub, 2 months membership, and Dr. Cash. Let me see. Uh, app donation. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I got it. Thank you, Cash App donation. Duh. Listen to me. Pomerose, thank you so much for your thought provoking comments as well. You know what? I just noticed something. Where's Black Queen? Where's Black Queen? Black Queen. Uh, I think I noticed it before and I didn't say anything, but I don't think Black Queen was on today. Oh well. All right, but I'm sure she's fine. Thank you, Lydia Washington. Please take a moment to like, share, or otherwise. But whatever you do, do not run like a homicide chalk outline. Please don't do that. Otherwise, people are going to make fun of you, and Harry is going to beat you every time. Harry will pass you up with ease, sticking out his tongue and laughing as he passes you up. And of course, as people have been insisting that, oh, why don't he just do away with it? Either way, Harry is going to look good. Either way, Harry is going to be just fine, and he'll always look better than his brother, no matter what. Who is truly um, living in Harry's shadow and has been for a long time, as quiet as it's kept. I don't feel sorry for Harry. I feel sorry for William because William has every tool at his disposal, and still he and the Duchess of Doolittle cannot seem to make a good impression upon anybody. Isn't that amazing? You got everything going for you. You got all the tools in your arsenal, and still you're miserable, hateful, lackluster, um, all of those things. And you're the one who's supposed to be at the top of the food chain. That's right. That's right. Ride or die with the hair. Yeah, whatever he wants to do. Because you know what? When Harry looks in the mirror, he doesn't see what's going on in the back. He only see what's going on in the front. And if that's what he sees and he likes what he sees, then I don't care either way. Harry, I don't define Harry by anything but what's in his heart. And the fact that he just happens to look incredibly fit and attractive doesn't hurt either. So um, does not matter. Either way, he's going to be okay. It's the other person that needs to worry, not Harry. Yep, Harry's always got it going on. Uh-oh, where did that go? Let me see. Oh, okay, I know where it is. All right, 1 second. I need to save this before I lose it. Okay, that goes in my library. I got to take a day and actually label a lot of my files so that when I'm trying to put things together, I can easily find them. But yeah, sometimes like all of the photos and stuff I save, I have to spend like a whole day going through them so I could label them so that when I'm looking for them, they're easy to find. Okay, so that was the fourth. Let's go to the third. Okay, what happened on the third? Oh, yeah, I remember what happened on the third. That was my birthday. Yes, I share birthdays with Colin Kaepernick and what's her name, Jenner or what? No, yeah, Jenner, something Jenner, whatever her name is. Amy Jenner. What is her name? Kim Jenner, Lisa Jenner. Wait, Jenner. K. Oh, Kim. No, not Kim. Kylie Jenner. Is it Kylie? Whatever her name is. That's who I share birthdays with. And of course, Anna Wintour, Charles Bronson. Oh yeah, there it is. Kendall Jenner, that's her name, Kendall. Those are the people I share birthdays with. Yeah, so this is some of the stuff we talked about this week. I promised to do a roundup, so I'm rounding it up. Um, Matter of fact, I'm rounding it up so fast you're gonna get dizzy. Oh, that miserable person, Megan Kelly. She really put her foot in her mouth this time. How desperate can you be? Well, and it's just like Mike Singleton said here. Kelly is so tacky with her pathetic attempts to be relevant. I couldn't have put it better myself. And there's Harry keeping an eye on Meghan to make sure she doesn't step on a ripple on the carpet or a crack in the sidewalk or something like that. Good looking out, Harry. Oh, yeah. Don't touch me. Oh, and my favorite wedding photo ever, or wedding photos, my favorite wedding party photos ever, capturing the spirit of the fall colors. I don't know who these people are, but I think they are just awesome. I love the individuality with the bridesmaids. Every dress is different, and even one of the bridesmaids is in a suit. You got to love it. Mama Bub, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for remembering. And also for the super sticker and watching Royal Sussex and being a member of Royal Sussex. Very thoughtful of you. GB News host tears into Harry. Oh gosh, I don't want to talk about her again, but yeah, tears into Harry over memoirs after abandoning the UK. Spare us the details, they say. Oh, Lola Falana lost a wig during a Las Vegas review some 50 years ago, and that wig has somehow resurfaced on the banks of the River Thames. And someone from GB News happened to be walking along the river and reached in the water and shook that wig and put it on her head, and it's been there ever since. Her name is what is her name? Akuna Matata, whatever her name is. Anyway, that person found that wig washed up on the bank of the River Thames, and she slapped that wig on her hair, and she took some gold powder from a local craft shop or some Kool-Aid. Yeah, she took some Kool-Aid powder and spread it around her eyelids and went on the news to rip Harry apart. So this is what happens when you walk along the River Thames and you happen to find some lemon flavored Kool-Aid packs. You can put it together and create quite a look for the GB News Network. That's what she did. Yes. What is it? Nana Akua? Nana Akua. That's it. I thought it was Akuna Matata. Well, then what's Akuna Matata? Nothing. What's the matter with you? Anyway, you take some Kool-Aid and you take a wig that washed up on the banks of the River Thames that comes from Lola Falana's review from the 1970s, and you smack it on your head and you go on television. Who doesn't do that? Who doesn't wear a Lola Falana wig in 2022? So she can tear Harry apart. It's interesting. They're saying that she tore him apart. If she tore him apart, who tore her apart? You know what I'm saying? How ironic that she tore him apart. I'm trying to figure out what or who tore her apart. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So anyway, Lola Falana, if you're listening, I think I have found one of your wigs. Okay, so that was from this week. And that there is a handwritten letter, supposedly from the Princess of Wales, the People's Princess, saying that nobody tricked me. I said what I said. And of course, earlier this week, I mentioned Sigourney Weaver's adversary, Sigourney Weaver's arch nemesis. Early Earlier this week, I mentioned Sigourney Weaver's arch nemesis from that hit movie that Sigourney Weaver was in some years ago. But yeah, so I'm not going to go into that again. But yeah, also, let me see. What does it say here? Uh, Kate has Kate as a guest could bring added value. Oh yeah, that whole thing about put poor pathetic Kate on archetypes. That's not going to happen. Anyway, I said that if Kate were to go on archetypes, that the thumbnail that I would create would probably look a lot like this. This is the thumbnail that I would have to create for that particular review of archetypes. Of course, they'd have to bring over somebody to do voiceovers for Kate for that occasion because we probably wouldn't understand her. Uh-oh, that's the wrong thing. Where is it? Oh, didn't we do this one? Oh yeah. So not that, not that. Oh, was it this? No, not that. Oh my goodness, where am I? Let me try that again. Okay, that's the. How could that be the second? All right. Oh yeah, and poor Eamon um decided that he couldn't wait for the elevator, and he. Well, anyway, you know what happened. Oh, and we talked about Nacho's fragrances. Yeah, there you go. The different fragrances available from Nacho, and of course we talked about Charles and Camilla out riding, and that time that the Queen and Camilla were seen riding or walking. Well, the Queen was riding and Camilla was walking next to her. So we talked about that. And then there's the Queen talking to Camilla at the flower show or something like that. And as you can see, the Queen and Camilla are deep in conversation there. Yeah. Oh yes, and Scamantha gets her account back. Yeah, Scamantha, the suspension on her account has been lifted. And the side by side of you know Princess Diana with Debicki doing the scene from the interview with Martin Bashir. So that will be in The Crown coming up. Oh my goodness, Shelly L. Thank you so much for the happy belated birthday. I appreciate it. You rock. Thank you so much. That is greatly appreciated. And I'm glad you are enjoying this Sussex friendly platform. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And also thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And of course enters Lurch Urang. Um, well, and this is one of my favorite thumbnails, which features, of course, King Charles III, Queen Consort Camilla, William, the Prince of Wales, and Kate, the Princess of Wales, and Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. So yeah, this is one of my favorite thumbnails. I think I managed to find just the right photos to display their to showcase their personalities. That's what I was trying to do. I was merely trying to showcase their personalities as the rest of us see them. So I think I've done an exceptional job of that. What say you? Yeah, I think so. I mean, if I had to like dig through the vast archive of photos, I think that this strikes just the right note. What? What What shade? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, William throwing his mother under the bus. Paranoid, fearful, isolated. Those are the words of Prince William used this week to describe how Martin Bashir lies ruined his mother's life. Richard Kay, of course, couldn't wait to tell that story. Who witnessed Diana's torment reveals the intimate story behind his fury. As per usual, William is angry about something. And there's Martin Bashir. They found a photo of him where he looks like one of the Yetis. So we've added him to that Yeti collection. That's somebody whose personality has been exposed, and we capture them stepping out of a vehicle or an establishment. Oh man. For someone who's never watched this channel before, I'm pretty sure they're like, what? I don't understand. What's going on? What Yeti? And for someone who's never watched Royal Sussex, let me just tell you something. I'm not sure I understand either. And I put it on there. So um yeah, William leering at Meghan, and William's incandescent with rage. And okay, so I think that we have pretty much covered everything. Oh, and of course, this picklehead who verbally chastised the queen, and now he's all kissing her feet and stuff and everything. And he was a real disappointment. Twice in his life, when Princess Diana really needed him, he was a complete disappointment as far as I'm concerned. When he introduced her to Martin Bashir, and when Diana asked for permission to return to her ancestral home of Althorpe, and he refused, leaving her to the mercy of the paparazzi. And we know this because he said it himself. Charles, the Earl Spencer, Princess Diana's brother, was the one who introduced Diana to Martin Bashir. He introduced her to a Yeti. He introduced her to a Yeti. So Charles Spencer did that. Okay. And of course, because he's not that bright, he told everybody on documentaries, interviews, he told everybody, yes, I introduced my sister. I introduced my sister to Martin Bashir. Yes, I refused to allow her to return to Althorpe, her ancestral family home, the very seat of the Spencer family dynasty. I refused. I simply refused to allow her to return home because we simply could not put up with all of the tabloids and the paparazzi. So I refused to allow my sister to return to the ancestral seat of the Spencer family. Well, now he doesn't have to worry about it because she is home, and well, nobody's going to bother her now, thanks to, in part, his doing, amongst others. Royal photographer stirs controversy by claiming Camilla is nicer than Princess Diana. Well, we talked about that. That was Arthur Edwards' claim. Oh, I love this. This is like my favorite from the whole week. She wasted 10 years of her youth waiting for William to be sure that no aristocratic girl wanted the job. He even publicly broke up with her twice just to make sure that the aristos knew he was available. None came. She wasted an elite education and never worked a day in her entire life, making history as the first royal spouse to have never used her NI number, which I think is like Social Security number. She sat around being humiliated by William's friends, who, together with the Daily Mail, bemoaned her family's lowly social status. She was supposed to have been a a phase during university only, but she moved to London after graduating to sit in her mother's Chelsea flat, waiting for him while she developed his. Let me see. Wow. Let me see. Waiting for him. Where did I just leave off? Chelsea Flat, waiting for him while he developed. Oh, that's it. While he developed his military and then flight career, she earned her weighty title. Uh, that's for sure. She has done nothing, achieved nothing, said nothing, but gave birth to heir and two spares. She loved now by, she's loved now by everyone because they hate Meghan. She's being lauded as the person who will save the monarchy. How? Answer on the postcard, please. Anyway, that I loved. This is what someone wrote, I believe, in the comments of the Daily Mail, explaining what an incredible waste of time it has been for Wadey Katie. And maybe that is why Kate Middleton is reportedly having a very difficult time with stress and anxiety. Maybe that's why. Maybe because of all that sacrifice that has been done over the years to achieve nothing, say nothing, do nothing, and have never worked anywhere. Maybe that's why. Maybe. And she's been branded as lazy, 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 and even more lazy by the tabloids. And as they say, by the Queen, she's even been called lazy. Royal wedding is the bland leading the bland. That is how one writer described it. Royal wedding is the bland leading the bland. And mind you, this has nothing to do with the Sussexes. Notice the date. It says February 26th. No, I'm sorry, Friday the 26th, 2010. Yeah, that is a story that was written by Suzanne Moore back in 2010. The bland leading the bland. Wow. Talk about accurate. The bland leading the bland. And you know what? Nothing has changed. They were boring then, and they're boring now. So, oh well. Um, Unlike other women, Meghan Markle, um, hashtag Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, prior to marriage was confident, self-made, meeting world leaders and doing what is that? Something. What is that? Okay, I can't see it. Something charity work prior to getting married is quite obvious why I'm considered a better royal. Now, of course, that's the height of sarcasm because, well, as you know, she is the opposite of that. You can pretty much see what Kate was doing prior to marriage compared to what Meghan was doing prior to marriage. And if you guys are considering Kate's age as a factor, well, consider this. Kate was what, 30 years old when she got married? 30, 31 years old. And Meghan had just turned 37. So, I mean, it's not that many years between the two of them that should even matter. But Kate had one way of living her life, and Meghan did other things. So there you go. Black cabs in central London passing out on the floors of the uh, roller skating ring walking around the party dressed as a Playboy bunny and working on the summers on a yacht full of wealthy men. I mean, that's just to name a few. And of course, taking that curious body out on the beaches of Saint Tropez or the Riviera, or whatever. That's what she's done. And by the way, that photo is not altered. I didn't do anything to it. That's Kate. There's Kate's resume. There's Meghan's resume. So I'm just saying, in public interest, I'm sharing this. And yes, they used to compare Kate to Wallace Simpson before Meghan came along. Kate has a very similar body type to Wallace Simpson, as evident, and so she was the one compared to Wallace Simpson, not Meghan. Yeah. So, and of course, let us not forget that she's an authority on child development. Such an authority that she was nearly pistol whipped by a child with a toy gun. See what I mean? Nearly pistol whipped by a child with a toy gun. Okay, so that's enough of the review from this week. I am going to go over to your comments because I think I've been shady enough for now. Yeah, I mean, I've been so shady, I'm starting to catch a chill. And of course, we started the week off here. Let me just go through this really fast. Just the photos. Oh yeah, Ubuntu, Ubuntu. I am because you are. You are because I am. I love when Sophie Trudeau said that. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. Very beautiful. Okay. Matter of fact, I want to save that. Let me screenshot that because I don't think I have it saved anywhere. So I'm just going to screenshot it. Yeah, it was a great week for the archetypes. I think it was one of. Oh, and of course, I saved these photos because I want to send these photos to Suella Braverman. I want to send her these photos because um I know that this is what keeps her up at night. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it. Let me go up to your comments and then we are going to ginge avenge our way out of here. What is that about Aaron Carter? He's not well. Oh my goodness, Michael J. Fox? Oh, let me see. Let me see, because it didn't come up on my okay, singer Aaron Carter's brother of the let me see here. I don't see anything from Michael J. Fox, but I do see Aaron Carter. I see his name, Aaron Carter, singer and brother of Backstreet Boys, Nick Carter, dies at age 34. What? That poor kid. I know he had like a lot of trouble, but how in the world? Well, I can only imagine, but oh, that's awful. That is awful. But I don't see anything about Michael J. Fox. Yeah, I don't see anything about Michael J. Fox. And usually stuff like that would come up on my feed, and I'm looking at it, and I don't see anything about Michael J. Fox. So I would definitely hold off on that one. But Aaron Carter, I know that guy was like, oh, poor guy. I see it now. Carter, troubled rapper and brother of Backstreet Boy, found dead in his bathtub at age 34 at home after singing Tell My Honey I'll Be Gone in last performance. Mother of his only child posted tearful TikTok. Wow, that's very sad. Yeah, poor kid. He had a lot of things going on or going wrong for him for that matter. Wow. That's very sad. Okay. All right, you guys. All right, I'm looking at your last comments here. Oh, his mother passed away. Yeah, Michael J. Fox was just on television. Let me see. I'm unable to confirm the passing of Michael J. Fox. Um, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. Only Aaron Carter. That's all I see. Yeah, I like Michael J. Fox. I thought he was very talented. Okay, well, I'm gonna take one more look. Uh, what is this? Disorientated, dizzy, disbelieving. Prince's remarkably candid outpouring about turmoil of days after Diana's death. Now, who's okay? I think William. I think this story is about William. Let me see. Torrent of grief at the tragic loss of Diana. Princes of the Princess of Wales was unprecedented. I can't see that small print. Let me see. What's the date on this article? Oh, that's from 2017. This is an old article, and somebody posted it on the Twitter. Always got to look for that date because sometimes people post stuff and you think is new and it's not. So anyway, good news for fat people. They're gonna make the airline seats bigger, I think. Oh boy, the last time I tried to sit and coach, you could have turned that plane upside down and I wouldn't have fallen out of that seat. I was hermetically sealed and locked into place. So, Dee Dee, oh my goodness, thank you so much for that. Happy belated birthday to you, Baron. Thank you, Dee Dee. You remembered. Oh man, that is so nice of you. Thank you so much. And I was just about to sign off. Um, well, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. That is very thoughtful of you. And thank you so much for supporting. Okay, that looks weird, doesn't it? Thank you for supporting Royal Sussex, and thank you so much for remembering my birthday and also supporting this very Sussex friendly platform. And thank you for trusting me to do this work. But yes, that's very thoughtful. I'm touched, very much so. Thank you. Uh, but yeah, so that doesn't look weird, you guys, right? Sussex, Royal Sussex Live. That's what it says. Royal Sussex Live. Do not adjust your screens. There is nothing wrong with um your computer or your phone or handheld device. That is merely an optical illusion. Maybe I'll change the picture. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll change the photo. How's that? That's better. Or 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 how's that? That's better. Anyway, thank you so much to our faves, our people's princess, our Queen of Hearts, and also thank you so much to our Queen of just about everything. And it was so nice to hear our Queen's voice on the Archetypes. That was very exciting. Anyway, you guys, thank you all so much for being here on Royal Sussex. And also thank you all for making this. I believe in my own unbiased opinion. I do believe Royal Sussex has been like the fastest growing Sussex friendly channel. Um, yeah, I that's what I think is that Royal Sussex has been the fastest growing. And to date, Royal Sussex has had some 13 million, I believe it's 13 million views so far. So at the opening it said 7, but I think it's more like 13. So that's very cool. Anyway, again, thank you all for your support. What's that? 18-inch plane seats can't take all this. Can't take all this thing. I understand. When I back up into my plane seat, all you can hear is beep, 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 beep. But then again, when I back up, there's always a beeping sound just so that nobody gets hurt. Um, oh man. Yes, right, Olivia Harris. It's time to go. You don't have to go home, but you gotta click the buttons and subscribe. Thank you so much for reminding people. Okay. Thank you, everyone. It is time to ginge avenge. And our last word of the day is, of course, happy belated birthday, Baron. Yes, thank you so much again. Um, and a more traditional last word of the day is uh okay. Okay, thank you so much, Lydia. Yeah, I have so many news feeds that pop up. Um, I tend to get news like really fast, and so I just only need to click to see what has happened recently. Okay, wow, but Aaron Carter, poor kid. He's had a very troubled young life, a very um typical Hollywood story young life. So that's very sad. I mean, the poor guy was all over the place, and yeah, very very sad for him. And I didn't even know he sang. I knew he was like some child star or something, but I don't know. I wasn't he like in was he a Mouseketeer or something? Right? I think he was a Mouseketeer, something like that. One of them kids that was part of that whole group of kids, and I think he just has always had a tough go of it. That he's never, you know, had like peace in his life. Yeah. Oh, Ray Raquel, thank you. That's so perfect. Bye all. Thank you, Baron. Thanks, moderators. Take good care, everyone. Until we meet again. Cheers. That is a perfect way to sign out. Thank you so much, Ray Raquel. Perfect. And oh, he wasn't a Backstreet Boy. No, he wasn't. I don't think so. I think it was a Mouseketeer. Yes, Michael J. Fox is still alive. But you're not really a star until those rumors come out. You know, anytime you have been the victim of one of those rumors, then you know that you are a big deal. Although you don't have to rumor me. I'm fine if y'all don't say nothing like that about me. Okay. Before this turns into a 5-hour thing, let us ginge. Thanks, moderators. And thank you for the birthday wishes and the donations for Royal Sussex. And yeah, that's it. Okay, let's do this then. Q Ginger Avenger. Q Ginge. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I forgot. I'm sitting up here. I'm like, oh, I didn't log out. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm ending broadcast. Love you guys, and I will. Oh Lord. Okay, y'all. Bye.